question number 1. So we got Leo and Teo, and they're picking some mangoes. So I'm going to write down the given information first, and I'm just going to organize this in a table. These are really common questions to. They're kind of tough because there's some parts to them that aren't necessarily super intuitive that you wouldn't guess. So let's start with Leo. Now Leo's picking his mangoes, and it takes him a certain amount of time, which is time is measured in minutes. So we'll go ahead and get our table here, and I might as well set up my table for Teo as well while I'm at it. Copy that and just use that again. Now you notice I'm using 2 different tables, and the reason I'm using 2 different tables is because the ratios that I'm looking at, so like for the ratio that Leo is 45 mangoes for every 30 minutes, and Teo it's 20 mangoes for every 15 minutes. Those aren't equivalent ratios, so we don't really want to put them in the same table because we might start thinking that they should be equivalent. So let's see, Leo, 45 mangoes in 30 minutes, and Teo is 20 mangoes in 15 minutes. Now, here's the common mistake is people look at this and say, oh, well, then if I put those together, I can pick 65 mangoes in, so I'm just combining those two. I can combine 65 mangoes in 45 minutes. But that's not actually the case, because if you think about it, for Leo, when in that 30 minutes, he's picking 45 mangoes. But how many mangoes can Teo pick in 30 minutes? Well, if I scale that ratio up, in 30 minutes, Teo can actually pick 40 mangoes. So when I combine these, if I'm just thinking about a block of time of 30 minutes, well, Leo is going to pick in 30 minutes, Leo is going to pick his 45 mangoes, and Teo is going to pick his 40 mangoes. So in 30 minutes, together, they're picking 85 mangoes. And so that's where you want to think, like in this case, we aren't just adding the mangoes and adding the time. So you got to be careful on these. So let me just kind of erase some of this stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and use the 30 minutes right there. And so, well, actually, let me combine those. So in total, they are picking 85 mangoes in 30 minutes. All right. And now we're trying to figure out how long is it going to take them to pick 425 mangoes. So let's say I'm going to make another table for when they are together. So together, paste that table right there. Together, they're picking 85 mangoes in 30 minutes. And I want to figure out how long is it going to take them to get 425 mangoes. Well, if you want to know how am I going to scale 85 up to 425, if you can do that mentally, great. If not, I would just get out my calculator and say, all right, well, how many times does 85 go into 425? And it turns out to be 5 times. So I would have to multiply this by 5 to scale up my ratio. And then I got to do the same thing with the minutes in order to keep them equivalent. So in total, it is going to take 150 minutes for them working together to pick 425 mangoes.